So first things first, there we go, stock grip on here, and if I can pull it out there, can you just see the little nubbin in there? And there's about 4 of those around that side, and yeah, you see them sticking up there. So there we go. So that holds these grips on quite nicely, but then will impede putting a different grip on. Let me show you the grips. As I mentioned before, the old vintagey looking, is it Beston, do you call them? Like rugby ball, whatever, kind of grips. So you can see they're a lot, that's a stock grip off a Triumph. They're a lot thicker and beefier. They feel, you know, got a nice kind of nice grip to them. I mean, one of my main reasons for changing them is not so much cosmetics, like I, you know, want to have that vintage vibe, although that is kind of cool. With the clip-ons on the bike, it's not so much the kind of weight on the wrists and stuff that is a pain, because I'm kind of used to that riding position, but there's not a lot of give in those, so you get a lot of, you know, it is a little bit vibey, and especially in the palm of your hand when you're resting on it, you know, you can feel it. So this is a lot thicker, which apparently they're supposed to absorb a lot more vibration. It's just a thicker, more padded grip. You know, it'll probably look a bit more cool than sticking those great big foam things over the end of your existing grips. So yeah, it's just kind of a bit of a comfort thing, and yeah, just have a bit of fun and see how they go. They're not expensive. These cost me £6 off eBay, and I have to say they're kind of very well made. I took a bit of a punt on them a while back for the Bonneville, and liked them so much and was impressed with the quality that obviously there is a set on the SR at the moment. So yeah, I figured let's get a set. Right, first things first, removing the throttle tube off the Bonneville. So here we go. Now this couldn't be any easier really. Just got a rubber boot here, which I just slide out. In fact, the most difficult part of this is trying to film it. There we go. Just pull that back a little bit, and you can see it's split. It's in 2 halves. So, and the only thing holding it in is one screw there, and the same there. So all you need is a Phillips head, and for this purpose I'm going to be using a comically long Phillips head screwdriver. Actually, there is method to the madness. Where I've got my lever positioned, my other screwdriver, it just kind of hits the body of that. So and slacken that. There we go, and it's loose. Well, I shall bravely continue trying to do this with one hand. Right, back to more pressing matters. So yeah, you've just got the cover here, which then, when those screws are undone, one half comes off, and the other half comes off. There you go. Now to release the throttle tube, all it is, it's like the push-pull 2-cable method. So just simply unhook, slide off, easy peasy. There we go, one throttle tube. The plan, or well, not the plan, what is going to happen, this is, as I say, this is just the way I do it, is to remove the grip off here and sort of sand, cut, file down any of these ridges that we have in here, so the other grip's going to slip on over nicely. And in true Blue Peter style, here's one I did earlier, Now I have a sort of thing about, because I change my mind a lot, I try not to sort of cannibalise too much stuff if I haven't got a replacement to go back. And the throttle tube from Triumph, which comes complete with this ear grip as well, so it's a complete unit, is £8. And me personally, you know, when you're cutting down throttle tubes and I need to make sure I've got a bike to ride the next day normally, it's always nice to, if anything should go tits up, I can just whack this bad boy straight back on, no fear. But you know, you don't have to buy another one, you know, you could just do the one you've got. I mean, there's not an awful lot you can get wrong. So as you can see, the nubbins that were all around here, all I did was just whatever works for you really. It's not super tough plastic. I mean, it's fairly, you know, it's not brittle, but I find you can use your craft knife, a Dremel on a low speed, bit of sandpaper, you know, whatever you've got, just to take the edges off there and off there. The ones along the sort of body here, I've just literally gone over with some sandpaper, not taken much off it. You don't actually remove a heck of a lot of material, and as you can see with the existing grip, you know, if you're worried about it not gripping, I can assure you, again one-handed, that yeah, see, I can't, that's going to take some force to get that on. That is still uber tight. So and I know from that grip there, it takes a bit of wallop to get it on there, so there's no risk of it moving or sliding around, so perfectly fine to do that. So there we go, that's that. Now the other thing I've got to address is, as you see, these are closed end grips. Now I would love to keep them closed end, kind of, but not at the expense of having to get some big Mickey Mouse mirrors on the clip-ons. I think they look alright with, you know, having bar mounted mirrors on flat bars. Again, this is my personal preference, but I quite like the bar end mirrors. They're a little bit more smaller and discreet, but obviously I'm just going to have to cut holes into the end of this so I can put the bar end mirrors on. So the next step now is to put the throttle grip on the tube, and it's always worth remembering, you can see where the nubbins got cut off. It doesn't want to get pushed all the way up to the end, because then you ain't going to be able to twist it when the housing's around it. So only go up to, just double check where your throttle tube, see on that one, got a bit of a gap underneath it, to make sure it only goes that far. Okay, so here it is. And now normally I'd rather use something like brake cleaner, something that evaporates quick. But as and that's only because I'm going to use WD-40, because that's the only kind of lubricant I've got. But brake disc cleaner is pretty good. It won't harm the rubber, and it evaporates quickly as well. So I'm going to, you know, reapplying them if you're struggling and you need to lube it up a little bit. That stuff will evaporate quick, so you haven't got to sit there for ages trying to wait for. I don't like using that to slide them back on with, but to get one off, so to speak, all I'm going to do, again, it's a bit difficult because I've got the camera in my hand. Spray a little bit up there if needs be, pull the grip back there, spray a bit in there, and that will wiggle off. Let's see if I can put the camera down here and you can just start working it. And then, there you go, easy peasy. There you go. And onto the throttle side, as they say, installation is reverse of removal, so just hook your throttle cables back in. Again, it will be easier if you're not trying to hold a camera at the same time. Hang on.